Look, in the steady thermal state, what will happen? Thermal state of the rod will be maintained. What do you mean by maintaining same thermal state? What do you mean by that? During steady thermal state, what will happen? Amount of heat passing through each cross section in a given time would be same, because heat flow has become constant. Correct? Second thing, temperature at each cross section would remain constant with time. Because temperature gradient is constant. Correct? So the last option is correct. You see the last option? Simple? Fine. Next. See number 2. Suppose you have this as first slab. Look here. First slab. Correct? This one as second slab. Then third. Then fourth. So one after another. This is nothing but series connection or series combination. In a series combination, please remember equivalent thermal resistance is simply addition of individual thermal resistances. The law is R equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4 dash up to Rn. But here there are only two slabs. So we should write R equals to R1 plus R2. What are they given? Slab or rod? Slabs. Okay, fine. Look here. Now, what is the formula for thermal resistance? Formula for thermal resistance is R equals to, remember, L upon K into A. L upon K into A. Better you speak in words. Length upon thermal conductivity into cross-sectional area. Length upon thermal conductivity into cross-sectional area. Length I am taking L. Cross-sectional area A. For thermal conductivity of first slab I am writing here K1. Here I am writing for the second slab K2. Because they have given two slabs of same length, same cross-sectional area. But here for the composite slab, for the compound slab, I am supposed to write here total thickness. Total L plus L, that is 2L. Correct? And equivalent thermal conductivity I am taking K, and its cross-sectional area is also same as this. Come on, I am writing A. Correct? Now simplify. L upon A getting cancelled throughout the equation. Left is 2 upon K. Say 2 upon K. That equals 1 upon K1 plus 1 upon K2. Take LCM. K1 into K2. K1 into K2. K2 will be multiplied here. K1 will be multiplied here, giving you K2 plus K1. Now just find out K from here. Make it subject of the equation. K will be, transfer this part here, transfer this part here. So K will be, come on, 2 K1 K2 upon K1 plus K2. K will be 2 K1 K2 upon K1 plus K2. 2 K1 K2 upon K1 plus K2. Wait. You are talking about 3 slabs, suppose. You are talking about 3 slabs. In general, for 3 slabs, what do you write here? Come on, 3 K1 K2 K3. 3 K1 K2 K3 upon K1 plus K2 plus K3. Just not thinking anyway and just replying blindly. You all should be hung. In that case, it will not be K1 plus K2 plus K3. It will be K1 K2 plus K2 K3 plus K3 K1. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1. Say 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1. Take care. Next. According to Stefan Boltzmann's law, W is equal to sigma E T raised to 4. Sigma E T raised to 4. What is W? Total emissive power. Correct. Total emissive power. That is amount of radiant energy emitted from given surface per unit area per unit time. Per unit area per unit time. Wait. Sigma is Stefan Boltzmann's constant. 5.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 watt upon meter square Kelvin raised to 4. What about small e? Emissivity of a given surface. Capital T is? Say absolute temperature. Say absolute temperature. You must put it in only Kelvin. Correct? Fine. Now, because sigma and E right now they are constants, come on, W proportional to T raised to 4. W proportional to T raised to 4. Direct proportionally then 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to. So here come on, W1 upon W2. Here T1 raised to 4 upon T2 raised to 4. Fine. This first value of total emissive power they have given as capital E by symbol. Next value we require. What about first temperature? We don't know. We don't require also. Let it be T1 as it is. But the second temperature they have given half of first temperature. Half of first temperature. So T2 is 1 by 2 T1. T2 is 1 by 2 T1. 4 raised to 4. Now T1 raised to 4. T1 raised to 4 will cancel. 1 upon 2 raised to 4. 1 upon 2 raised to 4. 2 raised to 4 is 16. 2 raised to 4 is 16. Now this will be 1 upon 2 whole raised to 4 will be 1 upon 16. 1 upon 16. 1 upon 16. Denominator will become. So 16 is transferred here. Correct? Now T1 raised to 4. T1 raised to 4 will get cancelled. Transfer this W2 here. 16 down. So W2 will be E upon 16. E upon 16. E upon 16. If temperature becomes 1 by 2 times, temperature becomes 1 by 2 times, then you should take its fourth power. It's a fourth power. 1 by 2 power is 4. So it is 1 upon 16. 1 upon 16. Correct? If temperature becomes 1 by 2 times, the total emissive power will become 1 upon 16 times. 1 upon 16 times. Got it? You should go for taking fourth power. Next. dt upon dx equals to temperature gradient, and temperature gradient, how should we find it? Look here. Suppose this is the rod. Here is higher temperature, here is lower temperature. Correct? Then heat conduction will take place in this direction. Fine. Suppose I am following the same direction. Correct? I am going this way. So what do you mean by dt? Difference of temperature. Difference of temperature. Difference means final minus initial. Finally here it is 20, here it is initially 30. Final minus initial. So 20 minus 30. Here dx means what? Corresponding difference in x coordinate. Corresponding difference in x coordinate. For x coordinate also you should take the difference final minus initial. Final x coordinate for this end it is 1 meter because the length of the rod you are given 1 meter, that is 100 centimeter. 100 minus initial x coordinate for this end it is 0. Somebody wants to take otherwise, suppose he may take 30 minus 20, say 30 minus. Then here he has to write 0 minus 100, 0 minus 100, right? Now tell me, 20 minus 30 is minus 10 upon 100, minus 10 upon 100, that is minus 0.1, unit of temperature we have taken right now degree centigrade, unit of distance we have taken, come on, centimeter. What does this negative sign indicate? As we move away from hot end by 1 centimeter, temperature will decrease by 0.1 degree centigrade. Right? In this case, remember the formula for finding temperature at distance x from hot end. All of you have written in the notes. Find out in first illustration in the notes. In the notes, in the first illustration, find out. Last section. First illustration, last section. Is it there? Yes. Dx equals to T1 minus mod of dt by dx into x. Correct? Now tell me, what is T1? Higher temperature, 30 degrees centigrade. This minus and as it is, When you take modulus of this part, you are supposed to take modulus here also. When you take modulus here, minus will become plus. So plus 0.1 I have written in bracket and multiply by this distance you are given from the hot end how much? 60 centimeters. 16 to 0.1, that is 6. 16 to 0.1 is 6. 30 minus 6, how much it is? 24 degrees centigrade. Correct? Next. Minus dt by dt equals to k dash into t minus ts. What is this? Newton's law of cooling for induced convection. Very good. Newton's law of cooling for induced convection. Wait. Minus sign shows decrease of temperature with respect to time. Decrease of temperature with respect to time. K dash is constant. Okay. Now this decrease in temperature in different time intervals, they have given, look, 100 to 90, 90 to 80, 80 to 70, decrease in temperature of body, decrease in temperature of cooling body, they have given same in each stage. 100 to 90, it is also 10 degrees centigrade decrease, 90 to 80 also 10 degrees centigrade decrease, 80 to 70 also 10 degrees centigrade decrease. Correct? So this decrease in temperature is constant. When dt is constant, k dash is constant, you do one thing, take this dt up and bring this difference of temperature down. So dt is inversely proportional to t minus ts. dt is inversely proportional to t minus ts. So as the temperature difference between body and surrounding will go on decreasing, this corresponding time interval will be increasing. Correct? Suppose temperature of surrounding, suppose it is 50 degrees centigrade, which should be taken constant. Temperature of surrounding I am taking 50 degrees centigrade. What is the temperature of body? Initially 100. 100 minus 50. 50. Later on, temperature of surrounding you should take constant only. Later on, temperature of body became 90. 90 minus 50. 40. 80 minus 50. 30. 70 minus 50. 20. So the difference goes on decreasing. Difference goes on decreasing. And as this temperature difference will go on decreasing, come on, corresponding time will go on increasing. In the first case time was T1, later on T2, later on T3. So T3 is the highest time. T3 is the highest. So T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. Correct? But this option is correct, but they have not given. They have given in the reverse order. Come on, T1 less than T2 less than T3. T1 less than T2 less than T3. When you reverse the order in inequality relationship, remember the inequality relation sign also should be reversed. Here it was greater than, here I am writing less than. Correct? T1 less than T2 less than T3. Got it? Next. Wien's displacement law. Wien's displacement law. Mathematical form was lambda m into capital T remains constant. What do you mean by lambda m? M means no doubt maximum, but lambda m does not mean maximum wavelength. No! Lambda m, it is not maximum wavelength. It is that value of wavelength which corresponds to maximum value of W lambda. Maximum value of W lambda. What was W lambda? Spectral emissive power. Spectral emissive power. Capital is absolute temperature. See, when this product is remaining constant, what do you mean by product remaining constant? Whatever is the value of that product for first body, same should be the value of product for the second body. Right? So first body is body A, second body is body B. So I am taking this product for body A this way. Lambda MA into TA equals to lambda MB TB. Fine. And now tell me, what is lambda M value for body A? 11 into 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter. Leave it in centimeter, no problem. TA as it is. Lambda value for body B, they have given 5.5 into 10 to minus 5 centimeter. Now TB as it is. These both the values are in centimeters, so centimeter will cancel. So don't bother for the unit. Now we have to find out T upon TB. Come on, T upon TB. It will be this upon this. 10 to minus 5 getting cancelled. 5.5 upon 11. 5.5 upon 11. So it is 1 by 2. Correct? Now wait. They may give you wavelength. They may give you frequency also. They may give you frequency also. Wait. One small formula is there, not in your syllabus right now. Very simple formula, look. C equals to F lambda. And that equals to constant. Correct? C equals to F lambda. You know what is C? Velocity of light in vacuum. Velocity of light in vacuum. 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. F means frequency. Lambda means wavelength. Now when this product is constant, what you can write? F1 lambda 1 equals to F2 lambda 1. Correct? So instead of giving the values of lambda, they may give you values of frequency. So you may use this relationship. Correct? Or sometimes they are asking ratio of frequency. Ratio of frequency. So you find out F1 upon F2. It will be lambda 2 upon lambda 1. Correct? So F1 upon F2. F1 upon F2. You can write 1 upon lambda 1 upon lambda 2. Correct? 1 upon lambda 1 upon lambda 2. So ratio of frequencies is reciprocal of ratio of wavelengths. Ratio of frequencies is reciprocal of ratio of wavelengths is suppose 3 is to 4. 3 is to 4. Suppose. Then ratio of frequency will be 4 is to 3. Got it? That simple relation you must remember. Next. For parallel connection, remember this law. 1 upon R equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus dash plus 1 upon R. But right now only 2 slabs are or 2 rods are connected in parallel connection. So you must write up to second term only. 1 upon R equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. Take LCM R1 into R2. Multiply here by R2 and here by R1. R2 plus R1 upon R1 R2. Take reciprocal. Take reciprocal. So R will how much? R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. Here it is multiplication and here it is addition. But for 3 slabs or 3 rods connected in parallel, you write R equals to R1 R2 R3. Say R1 R2 R3. But in the denominator R1 R2 plus R2 R3 plus R3 R1. Take care. Okay. Remember this law in any case. Okay. Fine. Next.
Suppose this is a solid piece of glass which is first heated to a high degree of temperature and then after we just allow it to cool down. Correct? How will you allow it to cool down? You have to keep it in that atmosphere or in that surrounding whose temperature is lower than the temperature of this body. Correct? So automatically this body will start losing heat energy. It will cool down. Temperature will decrease. Fine. Now tell me, what happens actually from within the material? From within the material, heat energy wants to escape. Correct? But thermal conductivity of glass is very low. Very low. Correct? So from within the material, heat energy would escape outside slowly. Say slowly because of low thermal conductivity. And that heat is flowing by way of heat conduction. But when that heat energy comes on the surface, after that it will lose the energy by way of heat radiation. So in the superficial part, rate of losing the heat energy is fast, and in the inner part, rate of losing the heat energy is very slow rate, very slow. So I mean to say, in the same body, heat is being lost by different rates, That's why, because of different rates of amount of heat flowing, what happens? Somewhere more expansion is there, somewhere less expansion is there. Somewhere more expansion is there, somewhere less expansion. And because of different amounts of expansion, there develops some crack. This is not the only reason for development of the crack, but this is one of the possibilities. Got it?
What is temperature of body of a healthy person? Remember, 98.4 degree Fahrenheit. Okay? Then if that person touches two spheres, one is made up of wood, another is made up of steel, because his body temperature would remain constant. Body temperature of a healthy person would remain constant, 98.4. Whether he touches sphere made up of steel, which is a good conductor of heat, or he touches sphere of wood, which is a bad conductor of heat, temperatures of both will be experienced, felt, or realized by that person by same feeling, same experience, same amount. Then he will say both the spheres he will find either equally hot or equally cold. Correct? He will not find any difference between the temperatures of those two spheres. Okay? But for that, his body temperature should remain constant. And whose body temperature remains constant? Whose body temperature is maintained constantly? The healthy person's body temperature. Correct? Next. Maximum absorptivity, length of leg. Say. Come on. W is equal to sigma E T raised to 4. What is it? Stefan Boltzmann's law. W is equal to sigma E T raised to 4. Stefan Boltzmann's law. The whole equation is Stefan Boltzmann's law. W is equal to sigma E T raised to 4. Only sigma, then it is Stefan Boltzmann's constant. Fine. What is total emissive power? Amount of radiant energy emitted from given surface per unit area per unit time. Per unit area. If I want amount of radiant energy per unit time, then I should find out E upon D. Transfer this A over here. So I transfer this A over here. Now this is amount of radiant energy per unit time. Let it be shown by symbol E dash. Suppose. Now what is the surface area of a sphere of radius r? It is 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square. This part as it is. Okay. Now 4 pi sigma E. This much part is constant. So E dash is proportional to r square into t raised to 4. R square into t raised to 4. Fine. When you are talking about direct proportionality relation, then wind E1 dash upon E2 dash equals to R1 raised to 2 T1 raised to 4 upon R2 raised to 2 T2 raised to 4. First radius you are given 1 meter, second radius is 4 meter, first absolute temperature is 4000 Kelvin, second absolute temperature is 2000 Kelvin. Simplify. Look, this is 4 into 10 raised to 3. 10 raised to 3 whole raised to 4 will be 10 raised to 12. Here also 10 raised to 12 will be getting cancel. 4 raised to 4, how much it is? 4 4s are 16 4s are 64 4s are 256. 256 and 1 square is 1. 4 square is 16. 2 raised to 4, it is 16. 2 raised to 4 is 16. 16 are 256. 256 upon 250, so it is 1:1. Say 1:1. Next. Minus dt upon dt equals to k dash into t minus t as Newton's law of cooling. Newton's law of cooling. Now this part as it is. Come on, remove this and write proportionally sign into proportionally sign, and after that t minus t as it is. In short, when you remove this constant, this is proportional to this. Fine. This is what we know, correct? But what have they given? Minus dt by dt is proportional to delta t raised to n. Have they given delta t or delta q? Instead of that, make it delta t. Make a correction. It is not amount of heat energy, it is change in temperature. Change in temperature. Okay? Now tell me, are the left hand side same? Say yes. Yes. And then right hand side you can compare. What is this? Change in temperature. What is this? Change in temperature. But what is the power here? Power here it is 1. And here also change in temperature, but power is n. So n is 1. N is 1. N is 1. Next. Suppose it is natural convection then. This is induced convection. The law for natural convection was derived by Mr. Langmuir and Lorentz. Mr. Langmuir and Lorentz. At that time here it was 5 by 4. Say 5 by 4. Remember that? So at that time n will be 5 by 4. Take care. Formula. I am using same formula. Okay? Now E1 dash upon E2 dash equals to R1 raised to 2, T1 raised to 4 upon R2 raised to 2, T2 raised to 4. First radius they are given as R, second radius as 2R. First temperature T, second temperature 2T. Simplify now. Come on. R square will cancel. T raised to 4, T raised to 4 cancels. Come on. 2 raised to 2 that is 4, 2 raised to 4 that is 16, 16 4s are 64. Now take reciprocal, so because they want E2 dash upon E1 dash, it will be 64 upon 1, that is 64. Next. We have 3 rods connected in this manner. A point where more than 2 conductors are meeting, it is called a junction. It is called a junction. Let this junction be shown by symbol point O. We are asked to find out temperature at point O. Fine. All the 3 rods have same dimensions, that is same length, same cross-sectional area. Same length, same cross-sectional area. Fine. Here temperature is 50, here also 50. But here it is 100 compared to 50. How do you find 100? Higher temperature. Say higher temperature. Compared to this also, this is higher. Where heat will flow from higher temperature to lower temperature. So this way heat will start flowing this way, and so giving you some heat current in this rod. Let it be capitalized. Let it be capitalized. But after reaching this junction, now further there are 2 branches. There are 2 branches. Remember, as many branches, that many parts. As many branches, that many parts. 2 branches, then 2 parts. 2 branches, then 2 parts. Let it be H1 in this conductor, H2 in this conductor. Fine. Now, from this H only we got these 2 heat flows. So naturally H must be equal to H1 plus H2. What is H? Heat current. Say. Heat current. In other words, it is called heat flow. Say. Heat flow. What was the formula? H or dq by dt. H or dq by dt. It was dq by dt equals to q by d. dq by dt equals to q by d. And that was Ka T1 minus T2 upon L. 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 Now speak out in words. In words. Thermal conductivity into cross section area into temperature difference divided by length. Thermal conductivity into cross section area into temperature difference divided by length. Thermal conductivity for the first conductor. Come on, 5K. Say cross section area. A. Temperature difference 100 minus T. Say 100 minus T. Upon length. Length I am taking capital L. And now come on H1. For this one, come on. Thermal conductivity is 3K, cross section area is A, temperature difference is T minus 50, T minus 50, upon length is L. Come on for H2, come on. Thermal conductivity is 2K, cross section area is A, temperature difference is T minus 50, upon length is L. Throughout the equation, what you can cancel? Ka upon L, Ka upon L. Ka upon L. Throughout the equation you can cancel. What is left out from here? 5 into 100 minus T. Say 5 into 100 minus T. From here 3 into T minus 50. 3 into T minus 50. From here 2 into T minus 50. 2 into T minus 50. Now tell me T minus 50, T minus 50. If I take common, then 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 that is 5. 5 ones are 5. 100 minus T equals to T minus 50. Transfer this here. So 100 plus 50 it will be 150. Minus T if you transfer here. T plus T that is 2T. 2T equals to 150. So T must become on 75 degrees Celsius. 70? I think they have given 65. Make it 75. Next. Actually, you know this formula dq by dt, which is net rate of losing heat energy. Net rate of losing heat energy. Come on, net time rate of losing heat energy is given by this formula dq by dt equals to A sigma E into T raised to 4 minus Ts raised to 4. From this we can make out dq by dt is proportional to A. So more area, more surface area, then this rate would be more. If less surface area, this rate would be less. So among the three given objects, say circular disc, sphere and cube, whose surface area is the greatest is not clear. They must talk with proper dimensions, correct? If you know the dimensions, then you can make out that whose surface area is the greatest, whose surface area is greatest. Depending upon that, this will be greatest for that particular object. But here they have given the answer as circular disc. Okay, let it be. In some of the books, some of the editions they have given sphere also. What is in your textbook? Sphere or sphere? See, there is a variation now. Last year they had given circular disc. Okay, but it is all base case. I tell you, all the answers are wrong. Provided you are given dimensions, then you can calculate the surface area. Then you can make the proper judgment. Okay, without that is not possible. Next. According to Stephen Boltzmann's law, once again, W is equal to sigma E T raised to 4. W equals to sigma E raised to 4. But W is also, come on, E upon A into T. E upon A into T. E upon A into T. Now, I want capital E, transfer this. So, A sigma E T raised to 4 into small t. This is amount of radiant energy emitted. Come on, it is 340.2 joule. This is surface area, you are given 10 centimeter square. convert into meter square, multiply 10 raised to minus 4. What about sigma? Stephen Boltzmann's constant? 5.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 watt upon meter square, Kelvin raised to 4. Come on, small e, emissivity we are looking for. Capital is absolute temperature, you are given 1000 Kelvin, whole raised to 4. And into this time you are given 1 minute. 1 minute. This 60 seconds. Simplify, find out small e. Small e is, come on, 0.1. What is it? Emissivity. What is it? Emissivity. You may be asked to find out absorptivity. To find out? Absorptivity. Arey yaar, you know Kirchhoff's law. A equals to E. Say. A equals to E. Big reverse. E equals to A. So whatever is the value of E, same will be value of absorptivity also. A equal to E equal to, in this case, equal to 0.1. Simple. Next. Look, we have compound slab made up of two slabs having thermal conductivities K and 2K, having thickness is respectively X and 4X. Higher temperature is T2, lower temperature is T1. Come on. We are asked to find out in this case the value of small f. Value of small f. Let us find out. Because it is a series connection, I may apply law of series connection. R equals to R1 plus R2. Fine. What is thermal resistance formula? Length upon thermal conductivity into cross-sectional area. Total length, I am taking capital L. Equivalent thermal conductivity, I am taking K dash. Cross-section, I am taking A. For the first slab, thermal resistance is R1 equals to L1 upon K1 into A. For second slab, thermal resistance is R2 equals to L2 upon K2 into A. Now why I am taking same cross section area? They are given. Have they given? With the same cross section area, have they given? No. What about cross section area? Not given. Then write in bracket. Consider same cross sectional area. Consider same cross sectional area. Look, now this is total length. Look here, total length means what? X plus 4x. X plus 4x. How much it is? 5x. K dash A as it is. Length of first slab, it is X upon K1 A. Length of second slab, how much? 4x. 4x upon K2 A. Throughout the equation, what you can cancel? X upon A, X upon A, X upon A getting cancelled. Left is from here 5 upon K dash. Here, come on, X upon is getting cancelled. 1 upon K1. 1 upon K1. But K1 is simply K. Simply K. Plus 4 upon K2. 4 upon K2. Look here, 4 upon K2. K2 is how much? K2 is 2K. K2 is 2K. 4 upon K2. K2 is 2K. Now, 1 upon K plus 4 upon 2K. 2 2s are 4. So it is 1 upon K plus 2 upon K. 1 upon K plus. Now, but 2 upon K plus 1 upon K, that is 3 upon K. That is what I have written here, 3 upon K. Find out K dash. It will be 5K upon 3. Come on, 5K upon 3. Now, don't you know formula of heat flow? dT upon dt equals to Ka T1 minus T2 upon L. But here higher temperature is T2, so I should add T2 minus T1, okay? And equivalent thermal conductivity is not K, it is K dash, so I am putting here K dash. Now K dash formula you know right now, it is 5K by 3. K dash is how much? 5K by 3. Into A into T2 minus T1 upon L. L is the total thickness. Come on, X plus 4X, it is 5X. 5 will cancel. So it is now Ka T2 minus T1 upon X. Come on, Ka T2 minus T1 upon into 1 upon 3. Into And now you are given in the statement which formula? Take Q by Dt equals to Ka T2 minus T1 upon X into F. Say into F. Into F. But into match these two left hand sides are same, so right hand side must be same. When you match the right hand sides common, you get F equals to how much? 1 by 3. F equals to 1 by 3. Next. Q upon T equals to 4 pi K R1 R2 upon R2 minus R1 into T1 minus T2. What is this? Formula of heat flow through spherical shell. Through spherical shell. Refer, I think illustration number 2 or 3. Illustration number 3. Illustration number 3. In the textbook, you see the formula? You must be finding there R1 minus R2. Is it so?
Yes, sir.
But at the time R1 was greater than R2. R1 was greater than R2. In short, you remember outer radius minus inner radius. Say
Outer radius minus inner radius.
and here higher temperature minus lower temperature. Simple. But right now outer radius they have given as R2. They have given as R2. Now look here, this part is constant. This part is also constant. So now this Q by T is proportional to this. Q by T is proportional to R1 R2 upon R2 minus R1. Suppose similar question they may ask for cylindrical cell. For in the same sum in the textbook you see. Correct? Then it is 2 pi KL into T1 minus T2 upon natural log of R1 upon R2. Natural log of natural log of but that part is in the denominator. So Q by T is inversely proportional. Q by T is to natural log of R1 upon R2. Natural log of remember, they may ask, correct? Because it is there in the textbook, instead of spherical shell, they may give you cylindrical shell. Take care. Next. See the sum in the exercise. First sum. In a steady thermostat, in both the rods, come on, amount of heat flow will be same. H1 equals to H2. Amounts of heat current would be same. What is the formula for heat current? Ka T1 minus T2 upon L. Ka T1 minus T2 upon L. The temperatures at the two ends for both the rods they are given same. So here also temperature difference is T1 minus T2. Here also T1 minus T2. Lengths of both the rods are equal. So here also L. Here also L. But thermal conductivity of first rod, because they are made up of different materials, thermal conductivity values will be different. Here Ka, here Kb. What about cross section area? They also are different. Common for AA, for B rod it is AB. Now cancel this part, so you get Ka AA equals to Kb AB. So now find out Ka upon Kb, it will be AB upon A, AB upon A. This is the required condition for having steady thermostat in both the rods. Next. Here is a room, okay? Then here it is ceiling made up of cement and concrete. This is the ceiling, okay? It is nothing but rectangular part. So let this be, look here, length, L. Let this be breadth, let this be height. Fine. Height or thickness of the slab, okay. Outside temperature is 46 degrees centigrade. Inside temperature is 32 degrees centigrade. You know very well, heat will always flow from high temperature to, so from outside to inside. Fine. How much amount of heat energy is entering the room? in 1 second. That is what we have to find out. Q equals to Ka T1 minus T2 on L into T. What is value of thermal conductivity of the slab? They given 1.26 watt upon meter degree centigrade. You see the unit. Watt upon meter degree centigrade. Watt. What means joule per second? What means?
Joule per second.
So take care. This amount of heat energy we must take it in joule now. Come on. A is a cross section area. A is a which cross section area? That cross section area which is perpendicular to direction of heat conduction. Perpendicular to direction of heat conduction. Perpendicular to direction of heat conduction is this. And perpendicular to that is this area. So we should go for taking this into this now. Length into breadth. Come on, A is length into breadth. Both of them are 4 meter each, so 4 4s are 16 meters square. A is 16. What about T1 minus T2? Outer temperature is 46, inner temperature is 32. Higher minus lower. This is the thickness of the slab. Correct? If you are taking temperature difference between these two planes, then perpendicular separation between these two planes you should write in the denominator as capital L, which is nothing but thickness of the slab. Is 10 centimeter. 10 upon 100. 10 upon 100. That is 0.1 meter. Put it here. L is 0.1 meter. What about time? You are supposed to find out this amount of heat energy in how much time? In 1 second. In 1 second. Fine. Now simplify. Answer is 2822. 2822. That many joule. Now in 1 second only, if this many joule are entering in the room, then inside the room the temperature would be higher and it will be unbearable. Okay, so it will be very hot condition inside. We would like to reduce that heat flow. For reducing the heat flow, what we do, we just apply another layer of bricks over the ceiling. So over the ceiling we just apply another layer of bricks. Thereby we are preparing compound slab. What we are doing here?
Compound slab.
Yes, in a compound slab the amount of heat flow is smaller than individual slab. Smaller than I'm showing you how much it is now. This thickness they are given for the brick layer. Thickness is 7.5 centimeters. 7.5 upon 100. 7.5. So it is 0.075 meter. This original thickness is already there. It is 10 centimeter. 10 upon 100. That is 0.1 meter. For the composite slab, come on. The amount of heat flow by formula we derived in theory, it was A into T1 minus T2 upon L1 upon K1 plus L2 upon K2. What is this cross section area? Come on, 16 meters square. Come on, T1 minus T2, higher temperature minus lower temperature. Higher temperature is outside temperature, come on, 46 degrees centigrade. Inside temperature is lower temperature, 32 degrees centigrade. First thickness for this ceiling, come on, 0.1 meter divided by its thermal conductivity is 1.26 watt upon meter degree centigrade. This is the thickness of the brick layer and it is 0.075 meter and its thermal conductivity you are given 0.65 watt upon meter degree centigrade. Simplify, answer is 1150 joule per second. Unit of heat energy joule, unit of time is second. But joule per second is nothing but correct. You see here 2822. 2000 nearly 3000 you can say. Nearly 3000. And this is nearly 1000. Nearly 1000. So the heat flow has been reduced to 1/3. Reduced to by applying a layer of bricks. That's why people prefer this brick layer extra on the surface of ceiling. Okay. On the terrace, we apply this brick layer just because of the same reason. Within 3-4 periods more, completely all the 8 chapters will be over. 8 chapter is very short, and then after complete course examination will be taken, and parallelly I'll start chapter number 1 and 2 for those who had entered the admission. We had taken the admission later on. For them I'll start chapters 1 and 2. Okay, just prepare up to this. Okay.
Thank you, sir.